Hello everybody, welcome. Thank you for joining me here. As you can see, we are in a new playthrough. If you didn't see the, I guess, effective last episode to Season 1, we died. We threw in the towel. We created one too many mistakes, and I got exactly what I deserved. So what I'm doing here, you can already see I jumped in on a new map. Here is the seed. It's 589-576-79. Not a bad little map. For a hillside, it's very flat, I should say. At least I think I'm on hillside. I was actually pretty happy with it, so I went here. I've already blueprinted out a base, and you can already see I'm committing huge mistakes by making a ginormous dig here. I've already mapped out some housing. I've mapped out, you'll see it like a bunch of stockpiles here is just kind of mapping out our food production. And then what I'm going to try and do is a grand hall here. I'm going to try and draw a bridge across. There's not really anything here because it's the edge of the map, but I don't really want to forfeit all of this fish here, which is really one of the only reasons why I'm going to draw a bridge. And I also checked for groundwater. Although I still don't know how the whole flooding mechanic works for the cellars, but this is really the only groundwater we have way over here, and I went all the way down on the layer. So I'm gonna dig eventually over here our kitchen will be and our underground storage. It doesn't mean that there won't be any groundwater traveling, you know, from the river here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fast forward this, but I'm very interested in your guys' feedback. I very much enjoy playing this game. However, I feel it could be extremely boring to watch when I build the exact same stuff. Like I don't have a creative brain whatsoever. So what I was going to do is potentially not really show much of anything until I got more established. And I know usually in the early game it can be the most fun and interesting to watch. So I guess for this episode only, unless I get feedback otherwise, do you guys want to see every step of the way? Because what I would just do is I would have just done one ginormous time lapse. The problem is I don't know how to put in like non-copyrighted music or something over the time lapse. Because then otherwise you're just going to hear sped up game audio, or I could mute that audio and then it would just be pure silence, which would make for a terrible, terrible viewing experience. Nobody should be idle. How are you idle? Oh, I forgot I was doing this down here. Yeah, this is my kind of little defensive structure. I was debating whether or not of building a tower like here, but I figured, for the sake of, you know what, let's actually cancel this. Don't dig that. For the sake of just not having to use a whole bunch of wood building a tower, we can put some melee here to stabby stab at the door, and then we can not make the mistake we did last time of not having our archers being able to shoot. So put another door here because I know these wooden doors break quickly. We can have our archers here. And I guess what I could go ahead and do is so they have at least some cover. Oh no, I can't. I need to put a floor down. Yeah, we're gonna have to do some flooring here. And then, which this is, one thing I don't understand is why I need flooring there to get these here. We'll just kind of get these there on the overhang, and that should be good enough, because then we could always just put our archers here and then have our melee fall back and kind of just be a last kind of line of defense. So we're going to be dumb. We're going to go ahead and get our ginormous dig order that's going to take super long and forever to get dug out, and then I'll pull the video back when I'm much more established I want to say. I'm just not sure how I want to do this, but this is where you guys come in. What do you guys want to see? Because like I said, I always feel doing the exact same thing is terrible. Yeah, apply to all is fine. You guys need to let me know what you are interested in seeing. Because one thing I was thinking about doing is instead of doing like a big, well, not big, but you know how you usually just build the building and put all the production things in there? I was thinking about maybe building, you know, a blacksmith shop, and then in the front of it having like a weapons rack and armor stands, kind of like a little storefront. He smiths out the back, and then, you know, has his stuff in the front, and then doing same thing with like tailoring, building a small little tailoring thing, and then putting a couple of weapon, or not weapon racks, but you know, like the armor dummies or whatever is needed for there. That would be something different that I haven't done before, and I kind of like that idea, so I think I might go with that. I know it doesn't change a whole lot, but just trying to think of something, 'cause I don't have a creative brain at all. Usually when I play these games, or any other game for that matter, I'm either like a support player and I'm just the minion who gathers everything and everybody else builds, or you know, the person who organizes the storage and base defense kind of things. I suck at building and I have no creativity whatsoever. So I'm gonna stop babbling on, and yeah, I'm just gonna let him get cracking. Welcome back, everybody. It has been now almost one in-game year. I've accomplished absolutely nothing in the, how long I've been playing now? 5-ish or so hours, because I have spent basically the entire year digging out this entire, like, hillside here. Took forever. We've been doing something disgusting, and that would be diplomacy. I know, I get it, I understand. But everybody that we've gotten, I think Osbert here was the only one where an extortionist would have come, or would have been attacked. They were a first person. And then the other 3 were just people who've wandered in. We've just been simply giving them whatever we had in our stockpile. And it's usually leather. I was making some clothing and a couple of weapons just to make them go away. Figured it's something I've never really done before, especially now that they've really toned down the amount of gold you have to give these extortionists, which makes it more viable to do a diplomatic run, which is still disgusting. But just a few things to go over. I'm trying to build a little differently and do things differently. So here we got our woodworking shop. Got the boyer's table and then the workbench for the wood. What I'm going to do back here is probably put in like some shelving back here for the material for them to make. And then out here, I'm going to probably put in, like I was saying earlier, the like armor dummies or whatever, or weapon racks. You know, this is the tailor shop, you know, kind of do this as like a storefront, so to speak. I'm not really going to do anything here for the smelting, because that stuff's got to all be outdoors anyhow. Being constructed right now is going to be our library / research center. This is just a prison. It's super temporary. It's not going to be staying there. I've been doing my hand at failing here. I just realized I'm not sure I like that. You know what? I think I'm gonna get rid of the stairs, dig this out, and reinforce that, because this is effectively going to be our cellar. And I did have a comment from a viewer, though I responded, I think it's something like 4:30 in the morning because I couldn't sleep. So they haven't had a chance to respond yet. They said they stopped the flooding in basements with the central drain hole covered by a wicker grate until they got an iron grate. Now my question is, and was still stands, and I'm gonna do science here, because I dug all the way down, you know, all the way until you hit the granite ground. Now my question is if I put the wicker floor over there, or grate, whatever it's called, right? The wicker floor. I think it says it allows for drainage, which sticks can be used as a platform or not. Oh no, here, this one, the wicker grated floor, allows for ventilation, drainage, and viewing between levels. So now I'm curious if I put this on the granite ground, if that'll help the water drainage. We are going to do science here. Now I'm just kind of trying to catch up. I haven't done any research, basically whatsoever, during that whole digging process. I've just now recently grabbed smelting, clay brick making. We are gonna grab stone block cutting, but I need to grab defensive structures first because we still don't have any towers. We didn't start a wall. This is just simply still what we're working with, and the only reason this is here is in case if we get a raid where there is no negotiation. So I do want to try and take security a little serious. I do need more chronicles, and then we are going to go into the stone block cutting, and then I'm going to work on getting the walls that I have mapped out. I just need to replace it because it's all wood. But I'm going to start slowly building out of brick if I can, especially all these future houses. I've just been literally building them one by one, because then that's a lot less time of me having to rip all of these down and rebuilding them all out of clay, which is effectively the play here. The problem is the clay is covered. I know it's somewhere around here, but I just didn't want to put in. I guess I'm going to do a random dig anyway, but I kind of want to put a slope down here and have them dig down and just create, a proper pit rather than strip mining, Swiss cheesing the thing. But one thing I noticed too that I didn't notice last build was wall signs. I went under signs, and I guess I didn't notice the plus sign. You can actually have these wall signs, and you can attach them to the side of the building. Wall sign, gimme. You can attach them here, and I didn't know that. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. So what I'm going to try and do is just, don't build that, you butthole. Trying to showcase it, butt knocker. Yeah, I'm not going to have it placed here, but yeah, a lot of my settlers were idle while I was doing some poor digging. But it's not something I've noticed before. I think I just missed the sign. But I'm kind of going to do like little storefront signs. That's kind of what this is going to be. Like, I did kind of want it a bit more central. I mean, the Great Hall is going to go here, but I kind of wanted to do like a shopping district, so to speak. But I'm trying to be mindful because my warehouse stockpile, everything's going to be down here because the limestone and iron is somewhere about here. So majority of our digging is going to be done here. So I really did want to put something like, if I filled this in and then put them here, it'd be a bit more central. I guess it's not that far of a run. I guess I could always move it because these are built out of wood. I do got to fill this in. I have like infinity dirt. I'm trying to be mindful of selecting this because you can kind of see how it's popping in and out here. There's just so much dirt and limestone that was dug out. So I could probably fill this in. This is just a temporary structure that I built right in the wee beginning. I had the research bench. I had Taylor's bench, the butcher table, campfire, a stockpile that has now for some reason been deleted. I don't know why. That was supposed to be for corpse, like carcasses, wild animals, and then this was for food. I just put the floor under it. I had a trough. We did have a doge that self-tamed, though I didn't get to train it before some wolves decided to eat it. I've ignored every trader that's come through so far, but I don't think I'm going to do that for year 2 because I should hopefully have a whole bunch of flax. That's what I've kind of been doing, just giving them flax seeds, all tree saplings that we've had. And I think at one point I had to do like 4 or 5 chronicles, and then I was trading out some herbs. I was just going around the map and harvesting some herbs. So that person wasn't good enough to do it, but now they are. And I do got to fix the Swiss cheese of our agricultural land here. And I'm probably going to do farming or farming, animal husbandry somewhere around here. I was thinking about doing it up here, but I do need to be mindful that I want to have the bridge over here. And I'm assuming it's not going to be 2 tiles wide. I'm assuming it's going to be 3 tiles wide. Same with the other gates and stuff. I never really use the gates or portcullises because, again, they're either just fully open or not open, which I don't really like. I'd rather have the doors there. Let's check this merchant, actually. Seems to be a big merchant. And I do need to trade for beets and carrot seeds so we can get that going. But I just wanted to give you kind of a yearly update or so. Who's my speech crafter? You are my speech crafter? Yes. Guys, this is more than likely going to be the only episode for the week, unfortunately. Because, you know, I've effectively accomplished nothing. Why will you not? We're all stacked on top of each other. Can we? Really? Come on. No, don't deconstruct. Trade. I hate you. Barter. So difficult. Yeah, so unless if you guys really want to see it, like I said, it was just literally a whole mess of digging. That's why I was kind of just doing like a yearly update kind of thing. All right, what do you have that I would want? I really only want just carrot or beet seeds. If you don't have it, then I'm not interested. Which it doesn't seem like you have. So we will just send you on your way. Shoo. Kind of why I've been ignoring the traders. I haven't looked at them because I knew we were going to be heading into winter, and I didn't need them spoiling off. I did dig down the warehouse. I did end up getting my characters stuck a few times. I struggle so much to see in between these layers. Doesn't help that my eyesight is poo, but I haven't dug all the way down just yet. I'm probably going to interconnect the warehouse along with the basement cellar. I guess for no reasons really. You shouldn't be idle. I guess they are idle because there's nothing to dig. You know what? I'll let them be idle because we're going into spring and the snow should hopefully melt, because then they are going to have to start digging a whole bunch of clay. But if you guys do want to see the digging, I'll try and figure out how to overlap music into a time lapse. Because that's really all this video would have just been anyway. It's just one time lapse of them digging out this entire section here. And then more digging there. And then more digging there. I haven't really done any kind of building whatsoever. But yeah, these wall signs, I don't think I finished what I was doing. But you guys can kind of get the idea. Like, you know, the kitchen will have the knife. The blacksmithing will have... I don't know if I want the horseshoe or the hammer. I don't really have anything for tailoring, which is kind of the problem. I don't know what the question mark means either, but I just surprised they didn't put in like a little clothing icon. Like, you got a few things for pets and a foot for some reason, a key and a handprint. Like, it's cool that you can color the sign, but I just wish I had something for the tailoring thing. But I think it would be kind of cool to have like a small little shopping district. I can put in the merchant stalls, but yeah, that stuff was really just down here because of efficiency of digging. But again, I'll probably move it because I kind of like the idea of having that central, like having the Great Hall about here, and then having like a little trade district, so to speak, with the little shopping buildings. I might make these a little bit bigger. I didn't want to go too big with them, because there's really not going to be a whole lot stored in there. But I'm also thinking too, efficiency for my settlers, having to switch armor of just how far of a run it's going to be back and forth, which is why I kind of made them smaller. Yeah, I guess it's something I've never tried before, but I guess something that's actually interesting in doing. You know what? Actually, why don't I start filling this in now? That would be a good idea, because I got infinity dirt, mostly. And this obviously isn't ever going to stay here. Get rid of this so I can see. We'll leave the ramp there for now. And this will keep him busy for a little bit. And then I need to put in a big old dig order for some clay. Just need the snow to melt. Because usually that is my normal winter projects, but they were already preoccupied. I've been really just trying to not build anything until it was absolutely needed. Okay, I need to get rid of that ramp now. Yep, a little bit more. I guess I can kind of see it, but I want to start near, again, I want to start near the edge somewhere. And then we're eventually going to get roads all built into here. I like how they got the little paths, how you can see how they travel. But I'm definitely going to get all this stuff roaded in and hopefully survive this time. I didn't want to risk anybody injury or death knowing I had this big stupid mining project I had to do. But again, I guess there's no reason for me to do it, but that's just my problem. And then eventually too, I kind of want to dig out this whole blob here, just for no reason other than to expand my base over. And I think I want to try and, I think there's a way anyway, to push the settler cap. All right, nobody should be idle unless if you are stuck, which of course you guys are. Of course you guys are stuck. I hate every one of yous. All right, I need... Alright, that's already assigned, and he's gonna be stuck down there for a hot minute. I hate you guys. Like, why do you have to be like this? Alright, that'll get her out. Hopefully he can poof back up somehow. Problem is there's too much to be digging there. Alright, no, I need you prioritize building that. You still see the AI get stuck even with building, and I guess I shouldn't have deconstructed that ramp until this was filled in. I guess the AI still doesn't see a way building versus deconstructing and mining. Alright, now that he's out of there, let's hopefully we can deconstruct this without oh, alright, she got it. Perfect. Alright, now nobody should be getting stuck down there, I hope. Because they still got that ramp there. Get this hole filled in. And maybe I will just move those shops, because I do want to build it out of clay. I don't really want to have many wood structures laying around if I can help it. Just get everything filled in that we can. Leave that open. Yeah. Oh, we can fill this in. Come on. There we go. We'll fill that in. Still need this to melt just a little bit. Or do I want to actually push this down about there and dig down? Is there any clay right here? No, this is all dirt, and then the clay starts like here-ish. Yeah, so let's do something like this. No, because the clay could expand this way. So let's do something like that. But the problem is they're all still going to be digging up top. I really wish I could force them somehow down and dig at it from that way. Let's get ourselves a whole bunch of clay. I guess I could backfill this in, perhaps. Then this would just be a giant hole in the middle of my base. Because this isn't just one big giant glob, I suppose. There we go. Nice and melty now. Alright, I guess we'll leave that there, but then connect this. And then, if need be, you can have this slope down and I'll make sure this is interconnected. We'll do something like that. Alright, that should keep him busy for a while. Now let's get into defensive structures and then stone block cutting. I'm really going to try and not overdo it either with going bananas and smashing on the clay. Alright, now that we have defensive structures, we should upgrade these doors. I do know I have iron laying around, so reinforced door. Is that? No, deconstruct. My only concern is if we get a raid that spawns here, I'm going to have to jump the gun and put everybody down here prematurely. Alright, let's get that door in there, and then we can just use that as a fallback. Maybe get a trap in here too. I don't want to take... Oh, one wooden mechanical component. We should be able to make those, right? That would be here. Yeah, wooden mechanical component. Do until I have 10, I guess. I'm okay with that. I don't know how good one stick trap's really gonna bother, but I just hope my settlers don't trip them. Do something like that. Nothing special, nothing fancy. It's just temporary. We'll put a door there. AI shouldn't be able to skip across that. Alright, something like that. We should have plenty of sticks. Probably have them by the infinity. Yeah, 2788. I am using only sticks to burn things. That'll be the kitchen. Probably start getting that done out of brick, but one thing at a time. I know they'll go start building this before finishing this, and it'll drive me bananas. So I kind of wish there was like a priority thing for building rather than just having to forbid it. It's like, can you guys please finish this before starting that? I know I'm going to end up building over these resources, but this should be plenty down here. I shouldn't really need anything more than that. I mean, I guess I could dig at it once I get the outer wall built. I just didn't want to have a situation like last time where I realized, like, hey, I built my kitchen directly over a clay deposit because I was supposed to be digging clay over here. And then, you know, it was just kind of one of those in before, you know, you built over something and didn't really fully realize it, which is why I was going to, for the most part, ignore this. And this is why the kitchen has been built here, because like I said, this should be way more than plenty of limestone and iron, and you figure that's going to go down for multiple levels. How far off are we from stone cutting? 5 chronicles. And once we get into that, we'll start smacking on some limestone. How much dirt do we have? 1,000? Thought I would have had more than that. Let's see, they probably moved the limestone. Yeah, how much limestone do I have? Jesus, 9,713 limestone without even trying. And that was just from digging out this little hillside there, just to flatten it all off. And I even got a little bit there. Alright, how are we doing here? Alright, yeah, you guys can run down. I guess I do need to leave that ramp. Oh, you're not going to build this tile because you guys can't cut that tree down. So we're going to need a ladder. They're going to have to go down, chop that tree, and then climb back up. Fill in that hole. Hopefully we have plenty of dirt left over. If not, then I know exactly where I'm going to be digging. Although I do need to still actually finish the actual cellar. but we don't have any shelves, so I'm not going to concern ourselves with it. And then, since I do have the basement floating on, I think it was at 10. That's the default. I'm not sure, because I did have it turned off, but I forgot I wanted to try the science since I had that comment. I was also going to go back and watch what the developers were saying about drainage, but I don't remember if it mentioned if you were on the granite level. Like, I can understand, you know, if you weren't that far down. All right. Looks like we're gonna have another extortionist come in, and we will... Oh, no. No extortionist. Okay. So I guess we'll just take you because we need the hands. So I guess I don't really much care about your stats. I just need you. And I did name my village not Deadsville, because we did play pretty poorly last round, and I'm pretty happy with this so far. Everything's going perfect. Let's see. I think I'm happy with that. Yeah, you guys can tend. That's fine. Condolence, Urgent Hall. What's your speechcraft? You have a passion for it, but it's butt cheeks. Do you have the passion for it? You don't, but it's 14. I mean, I guess I feel like that would be bad. I guess if we got nothing else to do. Pull you off of construction. No fishing. I could use some help here. What are you, 12? 9? You're researching primarily. 10. Could use some help with that. Mining, sure. Cut plants. Ooh, excuse me. Hiccups. Craft, sure. No smithing. No carpentry, no tailoring. Don't care about alchemy. A lot of people in liking research. I guess if there's nothing else to do, you can go ahead and do that. Alright, and then... What were you? Melee 11, marksman of 2? I guess I could use another meleeer. Do you have any perks that would help you in melee? Vigorous. Your hit point recovery. A chunky monkey and cold hardy. You know what? I think I will... yeah, you can be a meleeer. I think I do need one more anyway. Melee 2-hand. Is that the default? Yeah, we'll just go with the default for now still. And then go into melee. All that stuff is fine. Let's get your forced unequip off. I don't need any of that. And I do need to start getting into armor and stuff like that. But like I said, we've been taking the disgusting route. So hopefully that continues to serve us well. I don't think I'll get another episode out of here because I'm actually going to do a Pokemon opening. I had a box that's been laying around now for about a month or two. I just had like basically zero time to do it, and it's the only thing I have left. But since Going Medieval dropped, I was super excited to play this, and I'm having a lot of fun. The other game that I really wanted to play was Gray Zone Warfare. But however, my graphics card is far too old and it runs the game extremely poorly. So I'm far too poor to afford even another graphics card. The ones I was trying to see for an older card, it was like 500 and I want to say $70-ish. Not sure if that was with tax, so maybe just say 600. But that one's now out of stock, and the only thing I can find now are things about 1,200-1,300 bucks. I sure as hell don't have that floating around, especially with my tax bill being due. Was it beginning of next month? And that's just about 2,300 bucks, and well, I don't have 2,300 bucks either. So, yeah, that's gonna be interesting times. I'm just short of it, but still, been trying to work my ass off. Ugh. It's just work yourself to the point of exhaustion. In the last 2 days, I was so tired. I was almost falling asleep driving home. And you figure this is just about 7 p.m. 6. Yeah, I get out at 6 p.m. drive home. It's usually about an hour. I'm dozing off. Just bananas. That usually doesn't happen to me, but the struggle bus is super real. And yeah, it did picking up so much extra time since people keep quitting. I only have 1 day to record, and that's effectively every Wednesday. So the channel will unfortunately slow down in content, but I am also trying to then start saving up so I can buy another graphics card because I really wanted to play Gray Zone. It looks like a lot of fun, especially in this current update of theirs. No, for now, all we have is Going Medieval. I am definitely enjoying it. I really hope you guys are too. I do really enjoy this game. It's very well done. Yeah, I kind of have like a love-hate relationship. While it's working and everything's going grand, I love it. As soon as something starts going sideways, I hate it. Get rid of it. Uninstall it. Then, you know, you come back 5 minutes later. It's like, no, I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. It's like, I'll play. All right, nappy nap time. All right, I need to get this built, and we're going to start banging out, some limestone bricks. Then we're going to get this outer wall built. Continue to get this filled in. That's still not built, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm kind of giving them a little bit much to do here. You know, another thing I noticed since updating, and it's not something I noticed last time either, but in the campfire, you know, under for fuel, come on, scroll down, you can now burn bones. I don't remember that being a thing. I also don't know if bones have any other use, because you could do it even over here in the clay brick thing, as well as the smelter. I don't know how bones really have a... I don't really know how you're gonna set the bones on fire to create heat, but I mean, I do understand a need to get rid of them, because even just out here in a stockpile, these here are still like 2 years and 40 days, and that can become incredibly overwhelming. The ash decomposes quickly, especially when it starts raining. The ash I do know is used in pigments. So I do know the ash has a use, but I haven't really futzed around with it a whole hell of a lot. But I don't remember if bones have any use whatsoever. Maybe you can make bone armor. I believe that was a thing, but it's something I've never actually used. So I kind of always just make a waste pile, and that's where that stuff sits. What are these people even up to? Constructing what? What are you going to grab here? Dirt? Oh yeah, that's right. They seem to prioritize building dirt over anything else. And well, this is blue, so it clearly means we have clay bricks. But they'd rather not build the building. They'd rather fill this in with dirt. And it looks like you guys are content with smacking. You know what? We are going to have to dig this out. Some clay is dropping down there. They aren't going to be able to grab it. I mean, I guess I'm not mad at that. We're going to need plenty of clay bricks. Do need that to get built. You know what? I think I'm going to have to force... Cannot start construction. Need to clear area first. Well, how the hell do I... Really? You're going to make me dig out this tile here to put a ladder to go down one? Maybe I should put a forbid on this. Filling this in. Should get the library going. Especially being faster as well. Over moving these buildings, which really isn't a priority. We're going to ignore the beggar. We don't much care about them. Nor do I care about any intel on the map because, well, we don't have a cartography table. We sure as the hell don't have armor. Primitive weapons. Although, I guess advanced... Well, I guess I can't say technology, but normal technology for their time. Primitive to us, right? Normal weaponry for them. Yeah, you know what? They're almost done filling it in, so why not? I'll let them be. And then build this ladder so we can dig that tree out and get that filled in. Yeah, I'm not gonna finish that. I'll leave it. I have a feeling this is kind of screwing me here. Another thing that's kind of confusing here is it says the making bricks here is a construction job. I never actually looked under construction. Yeah, like getting resources for construction, constructing, deconstructing, repairing, and removing buildings. Well, when you go under crafting, it very clearly shows the kiln here, but it doesn't show it under construction. And they were, yeah, see, Jack Mina here was just, I'm pretty sure, doing it, unless if I misread. Which, they're not even under for construction, so I think that might be a typo on their part. I think they might need to change this. I feel like this isn't a construction job. This is very clearly a crafting job. I think the same thing oh, that's with the smithy. So that at least makes sense. I think, right? Yeah, forge, smelting furnace. At least that makes sense. I just don't like how, I know I mentioned it in previous videos, how some of these things overlap across multiple things. I feel like they could consolidate, and there's a couple of redundancies in there. Oh, let's see. Night time for them. So I think I'm going to wrap this episode up here. But if you guys made it this far, I don't know why you're torturing yourself, but I do appreciate you watching. I will wait for feedback on this episode because, like I said, I only have effectively today to record. If I don't have any other feedback, I'm probably just going to do kind of like a yearly update kind of thing until I feel like I'm back to where I was last time, before effectively meeting my demise. Any extortionist that comes in, we're just going to simply negotiate and shoo them away. This is simply why I haven't showed any of that, but that's how we've gotten all of our settlers, whether, you know, they were being chased or just wandered in because they were injured. We're going to continue to fill this in. We're going to continue to dig this out. We're going to get our library built, and I'm going to get a kitchen built, although I'm probably not going to, I don't really have anything to put in there. And then, you know, I've dug down to effectively start with our cellar there for proper storage. We got our farming going. I think I'm going to put animals here because I don't know where to put them. I kind of want to put them along here, but I also then don't need them along the gate. I guess I could put them in along this way. I could put them also, I guess, here, or put more housing here. The Great Hall is most definitely going there. This could be more housing. This is just temporary structure. That'll go away. And we just have so much land to work with. But I think I am kind of liking the idea of moving these buildings maybe somewhere here and just doing like a trade district. Because it's really not that far away, I suppose, if they just go from here to here. I guess I'd feel a bit more comfortable doing that if I had an army of doges or at least a couple of donkeys. That's why I placed them here temporarily, because it's the shorter distance. I guess unless if it's mind over matter rather than, you know, running here. We have another doge. Hopefully Earl won't get eaten. The taming took forever. It looks like we had some carcasses as well on the map. So we're gonna get all these. I don't know how long they've been here on the map. But we're gonna get an urgent haul in on them. This is how I've been getting all of my meat and my leather. Just always going under the overview, under resources, under carcasses, and then just hauling them so that we don't have to look around the map or look for vultures and stuff and try and find a tiny little red X, you know, kind of like these here. You can just simply go into the overview tab there and see what's laying around the map. Settlers are idle. No one should be idle. You guys are idle because you're dumb. Come on. I haven't built a ramp down and you guys still... Son of a... Dude. You guys did so well last episode. Like, come on. How? Why? Like, this is exactly why I built a ramp, and I wish you guys would just go down and dig rather than dig from the top down, because this is what happens. I even preemptively built the fudging ramp down, and yet you guys still weren't smart enough to not get yourself stuck. For fuck's sakes. You know what? You guys did it. You can stay there. Are you gonna dig yourself out? I hope you are. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. There you go. All right, well, at least you're smart enough to dig yourself out. I'm like, nobody should be idle. I'm like, I got dig orders, I got crafting things, building things. Unless if someone was just a dedicated researcher. All right, but I do need to, I do need to scram. So yeah, I need to stop babbling. I want to thank everybody for watching. I'm always on the hunt for feedback, good or bad. Please leave it down in the channel, the comments down below. I can't even English. Always looking to tailor the channel. You know, let me know what you guys want to see, don't want to see. And I really hope you guys are enjoying this series. And then there's just, again, please let me know what you want to see. If you want to just kind of me doing yearly updates so I can catch back up. Or if you want to see a little bit more stuff, see some time-lapse stuff. Because I know how to speed it up. I just don't know how to, again, lap music over it or something. So you just don't hear the sped-up game audio. But until effectively next week. Actually, no, I won't be here next week because I got an eye doctor appointment. So yeah, probably no episode next week, unfortunately. Yeah, see you guys maybe in 2 weeks, hopefully sooner. Take care, everyone. Bye.